So, to finish up chapter 4 on socialization, we're now going to talk about the socialization process through the life stages. So, as I mentioned at the very beginning, this socialization process begins at birth and it continues out the entire lifespan. It doesn't end, when you're an adult, it continues until you die. There's always something that we are learning and something that's happening in this process. So, in the younger years, your family is your first socializer. Think about small children. They're around their parents, grandparents, maybe a babysitter. They have a tight inner circle. They're not really exposed to a lot of people. And think about the leaps and bounds in learning that happens in the first, 3 or 4 years of a child's life. Then they go to school. Think about if you've ever been to a pre-K or a kindergarten room, and children are learning those first things that they just don't know how to do, how to sit in a desk, how to sit still, how to raise your hand, to wait in line. These are all like foundational things that carry on throughout our life. Think about the number of lines that we stand in as adults. We learn that as small children. And we also learn about the consequences, what happens if you don't follow these norms. Um, and then there also is a hidden curriculum, things that are learned in school that are those latent functions that we talked about in a previous video. The hidden curriculum is the informal and unofficial aspects of culture that children are taught as preparation for a life in the larger society. Things about being disciplined, order, cooperation, conforming, standing in line, patriotism, all of these things that kids learn in school. They start to make friends and they learn how to be a friend, how to be social, things to do, things not to do. And they're also really shaped by mass media, the things that they watch on TV, the billboards that they see, how things are marketed towards kids. I mean, even now there's YouTube videos of kids opening and playing with toys. What are kids learning? They're being shaped and molded from every direction. So then they move into early and middle adulthood years. Think about whenever you go to college, having a family, taking on new careers and jobs, getting married, becoming parents. All of these things that shape us and are new experiences that when you first do them, you feel a little bit clumsy, you're worried, you might be a little bit anxious. But after you've been in these situations, you learn the new norms, you learn the new behaviors and the way to act. And then it becomes normal to you. Think about divorce, you learn to be married and in a relationship, and then going through the process of being divorced and that not having a person, it's a change and learning how to navigate co-parenting and how to navigate new relationships. Think about your friend circles. I know I had a friend circle when I was in high school, and then it changed when I went to college, and it changed when I got out of college. And being in different relationships takes you to new friend circles and how to navigate being in a new group of people. This is this process of learning new behaviors, new norms, new belief systems, and ways of interacting in society. Then in late adulthood, you transition out of major aspects of social life. So this is as people get older, they become retired. Maybe you lose a spouse or your children move away, or you're facing death. You get in a role-less status where you're moving out of certain statuses that you have in life, and you're learning how it is. People, if you've ever met anyone that's been retired, it's quite a transition. You're used to going to work every day, and now there's not that expectation. The picture down in the bottom of the women getting together, having coffee. You might enter into a new friend circle. Or what about if, someone passes away and learning how to navigate life, not having that person around. Going into nursing homes. I've I've known some older people that have transitioned from living at home and being very independent to now living in a nursing home. That is a transition as well. This is all socialization. Think about the norms, the behaviors, the values, the beliefs that have to change and shift and adapt as you go out throughout these stages in life. So it's just important to remember that this socialization process is so important to us as humans. It's part of learning about the culture we live in and adapting and moving throughout life.